how did you build this positive relationship with finances and money and not look at it with spite or say na money is evil or ganyan. Paano mo change yung self-talk mo and narrative about how money has the power to actually change and empower our lives instead of looking at it as a barrier for your comfort and happiness?
Siguro yung scarcity versus abundance mindset. Okay, scarcity ako before, ibig sabihin I feel like limited lang lahat. Limited ang opportunities, limited ang money sa mundo, limited ang pwede kong ma-achieve in life, especially in terms of finances. And then, how did I go from scarcity to abundance mentality is that I started giving. Yung important, siguro pinaka-important na masabi ko is you have to have the giver's gain mindset. Okay, ibig sabihin, you will gain more or you will gain the most if you are a giver. So I started shifting na hindi porket nagbigay ako, nauubusan ako. Because that's the limited mindset. But when I started thinking of limitless and abundance na for me, that's when I really shifted my mindset. Number 2 is that I started understanding the attitude of gratitude. Ibig sabihin, if you're always thankful, then you attract more. If you're in that mindset na lahat ng bagay, even the littlest things, diba? Even just having a glass of coffee or water, alam mo yon, you can be grateful for that. And when I started becoming more grateful, that's when I started attracting more. And that's when I really shifted my mindset. That translated to my finances.
It's so counterintuitive, and I feel like that's the reason why, that's one of the things, yung mga limiting beliefs there, those are the things that really limit our capability of abundance, because you think that hindi, kailangan ko to keep some for myself, I need to be, there's a scarcity out there, or minsan it goes beyond just finances, it even goes beyond opportunities, right? Like magagalit ka pag yung opportunity na bigay sa ibang tao kesa sa'yo. Kasi parang feeling mo, kulang. But if you actually think that there are other ways for you to become better, to become more, and to earn money, then that's when the abundance really start. I wonder, what were the practical things that you started to do as someone in your early 20s to start doing this?
One big step talaga for me is that I invested on my personal development. Because again, how you are in one thing is how you are in everything. So when you are an empowered person as a whole, then your finances will just follow it. That's when I started thinking, sige nga, I'll bet on myself. Doon nag-start talaga yun, di ba? And then after that, I started, siguro I would be very specific on finances talaga. What I did is that I started tithing. Okay? And that changed my life. And I wanna also promote that, diba? If there's one thing I wanna promote, it's to start tithing, be in a giving position all the time.
Can I just say also, yung tithing, what I've realized, because that's also one of the things that I feel like have empowered me to become more and gain more. I think it's also the being able to face the fear that you have. Like, for example, if you don't tithe, if you don't get that 10% out of your salary to give to the church or to your chosen charity, the reason for that most of the time is because you feel like kulang yung pera mo. Pag binawasan ko pa to ng 10%, makukulangan na ako sa needs ko. But I just took that, I believed in what was being taught in our church. I believed the Bible. I believed in this idea that there is enough for me. And I took that risk. And I gave that first 10%. And then nagulat na lang ako na, shucks, sakto lang, kasya pala. Like, I'm actually still comfortable. Like, I don't even feel that, I mean, hindi siya ganun kagrabe yung feeling ng bawas sa buhay mo. And in fact, it actually reminds you of, yes, the importance of money, but even more importantly, the purpose of money in life, which is not to just constantly accumulate it for your own wants and needs only, but to accumulate it so that you can eventually overflow towards others and towards who need it the most.
And important to create a habit around it. Yun yung gusto ko eh. Sa umpisa, di ba, you mentioned kanina fear. there's a fear of lack or scarcity. There's a fear of baka magkulang. But if you just start it, mangyayari is that magkakaroon ka ng habit doing this consistently, doing it coming from your heart. Magiging habit mo na siya, and then di mo namamalayan, there's no longer a fear around giving, around sharing, or contributing. But it's gonna be normal na lang for you.
Yeah. I love that. The power of habits and how they change our lives, right? It always starts with one small habit, one small step, and then eventually creating a habit out of it, which builds into your character, which becomes your destiny, as Lao Tzu said. But I love this question from Alyssa Gutierrez. How do we avoid unnecessary or impulse spending, especially online shopping?
What I recommend to people is that they have their fun money. Okay? Ibig sabihin, meron kang guilt-free. Kumbaga, may budget ka. Guilt-free ka, ibig sabihin, you're spending for this or you're buying this guilt-free. But at the same time, budgeted. Of course, you worked for it, diba? So, pay yourself also by allocating your fun money or your play money mo. Ibig sabihin, okay lang naman na may impulse buying tayo basta budgeted pa rin. May limit pa din talaga.
It's so important na the only way that you can avoid impulse spending and unnecessary buying is if you have in your head a plan already for the money. Every time money comes into your life, make sure that you know where it's going. Because the only way that you become impulsive with it is if hindi mo alam kung saan mo siya ilalagay, diba? So, tama yung sinabi mo noong una, talagang ilagay mo na sa insurance or sa emergency funds. Pag natabi mo na yun sa savings, sa investments, pag natabi mo na yun, then pwede ka nang mag-allocate nung sa fund spending mo without feeling bad because you know that you already did your due diligence of, taking care of your responsibilities. Yeah, na-budget mo na siya bago mo pa mas-spend yung para for fun. And I know that's hard. Easier said than done, obviously. Dahil napakadaling mag-online shopping ngayon and do all of these things. But you could listen to the first episode that we did on the podcast to kind of, on the financial series, to kind of go in depth on impulse spending. Ayan. Oh, and the follow-up question to that, I love this, from @Heyhan Park. How do you prioritize naman daw savings over pleasure? Because tama naman may plan and everything, but how do you prioritize it nga, coach? Paano kung hindi ka namin ma-afford? At wala kaming financial coach to tell us these things. How do we train ourselves to do that?
Siguro ang una mo talagang kailangan gawin is to have the discipline to set aside money for your savings and investments first before you allocate or budget your money for your expenses. This includes your rent, utilities, bills, groceries, etc., or even home contribution for some. Diba? Again, you have to set aside money for your future kasi you want your future self to thank you. So, kailangan may discipline talaga for you to start that. You have to just start. That's my tip eh. You just have to start doing it and magugulat ka na lang. It becomes consistent. It becomes a habit doing that.